5-second board goes out and we are ready to go out there on pole position. As I said, Andrew Graham, let's see if he holds it from that 3500 of John Kinman. But for the final time today, the lights are on the gantry bridge here at Knockhill Racing Circuit, and they hold and we go. It's a poor start and out like a job from row 3. Ewan Anderson says hello to everybody. It is already up to P2. Fantastic start from that second row of the grid there, and Ewan Anderson of course in his MGB GT, and that was a start I think even Alistair Bapty would be proud of.
I actually thought he was going to take the leads there around the outside, but just the power of the Triumph kicking in there for Andrew Graham in the 78. He was able to just pull away in that TR8, and he's actually establishing a bit of a gap here. Still second place for the MGB GT, and then in third of course is one of the Rover 3.5 litres. Let's see if that's John or Adam. It's currently, it's actually Adam really.
Yep. Now what has happened to John actually? He's way back there. He's about 6th position right now. I wonder, see, I always get concerned about these Rovers. They're big, meaty engines in them, but obviously absolutely useless with traction. So I wonder in these damp conditions if they really do struggle trying to get the power down on the circuit here. However, look at how quickly Adam Kinman is starting to close on these front two.
We've also got a problem for Andrew Kinman in the TVR Vixen, who's going to be pulling off. Yeah, you can see there the 63 John Kinman pushing on against the Ginetta of Colin Calder, struggling a little bit.
The reason I was pointing at that, John, is the size difference between that 55 and that Rover. It's like a tiny little bubble car and this big monstrous spaceship.
It's great to see. I mean, even from here, you can barely see one of them, and the other one you can't get away from. Into the pits comes the Vixen then, so unfortunately it's going to be a premature end. That car's been struggling to glide there to elevate. Then again, it is a TVR.
Oh, TVR owners across the world are absolutely furious.
No, ignore me, I got excited. I thought something was on the big slide, but it was all under control.
Was it a TVR? It might have actually made him say yellow one.
No, it was the red one behind him.
Oh, right. So I would like to point out, if you do have any complaints, then you can text Knockhill. It's 60777 and just point out it's John Monroe.
Or you can not.
Right, we've got 11 laps left to go here in the Sports and Saloons race here. The two Rovers now, John Kinman now has somehow magically come back into the race, catching up that Rover the pace of Adam Kinman right now. I get the feeling that that'll be a short-lived third position for that car just out here.
Yeah, great to see Craig Houston out there as well. Once again, that gorgeous Lotus Eclat. You know, old Lotus, the kind of forgotten Lotus in many ways. Great to see it out there performing this weekend and running really well, in fact, especially considering the various classes here separating the different cars. And it's just not far ahead of the Flying Nova, which has been a star of the show all weekend, with Ian Mitchell behind the wheel and doing a great job attempting to punch above its weight. Meanwhile, speaking of weight, the two Rovers come round through the exit of Clark's. Colin Calder just hanging onto the back of them in that lightweight Ginetta. It's David versus Goliath at its finest. And at the moment, actually, you know what, the Kinmans have swapped places, so it is actually John Kinman that's now passed Andrew Kinman. Two similar cars but different classes, one of them being an Invitational, and that being Adam in the 64, which is the dark blue and green one behind. Meanwhile, the 51 is now going to lose the position to the charging 63. John Kinman on the recovery run is now going to move up into P2 with the fastest lap of the race to boot. So watch out, Andrew Graham.
Yeah, fantastic move there. I think that lead of the race is going to be short-lived because obviously the track is developing. It's getting a little bit faster and faster as they go round here. Fastest lap of the race last time round, 63.134 for John Kinman right now as he goes up into that second position. So that gap will come down. But Andrew Graham decided to kick back here. He's maybe seen the Kinman is in the second place as he is pushing very hard. But it almost does look like John Kinman is a very different driver behind the wheel of that Rover now. Very patient and just very tentative to absolutely send up. It does look like the Vitesse is going to get past Ewan Anderson as well here.
Yeah, it's working for him as well. He's really carrying great speed in the wet. Interesting comments earlier actually as well about the fact that the Rover's got such a long wheelbase. In the wet, he was actually able to play around with the rear and control the car and slide it around and manage it. Whereas the Triumph TR8 was struggling a little bit because of the short wheelbase. So interesting analysis there between the two cars, because you look at them both and think, oh yeah, big shouty V8 engines and lots of noise, lots of power, old school handling, but actually two very different cars in many ways as well. Both beautiful and amazing in their own right, of course.
Yeah, they certainly are. And I've got a very bold prediction here. I've got an outside bet for our final step on the podium. I think I quite fancy Colin Calder in that Ginetta.
I thought you might say that.
He's
looking good, isn't he?
He really is, and he's looking. Oh my good! I'll explain what that was for. John Kinman's, in the most spectacular of saves, sends it, and I mean literally sends it over the curb at Clark Corner, gets it all crossed up, power slide and a boot full of acceleration, saves him from mischief in that one. But he is absolutely charging right now.
Calder down the inside of the 51 and takes that P4. So David's prediction coming closer to being true there, up into P4, I believe, ahead of Ewan Anderson, who's dropped back a couple of places on that lap. The MGB's great start now beginning to come back and dropping back through the field a little bit. Then you've got a bit of a gap back to Craig Houston and, of course, the Nova as well of Ian Mitchell.
Because the reason I'm saying that is that Rover Vitesse is obviously much faster in the straight line, but Colin Calder, if he can get a proper lap in, he's half a second at least faster than Adam Kinman in that Rover Vitesse. But coming over the crest of the hill at Clark Corner then is your race leader, Andrew Graham, who is chasing down some more back markers here. I believe that is going to be, is that Mark Wynn that's going to be getting put a lap down? Possibly will be, because then you've got Duncan Creel that'll be down there as well as Richard Cooper. But Andrew Graham comes out of the hairpin, then there is John Kinman. So it's almost like the Jaws theme is starting to play in the background there. There is Colin Calder now coming out of that final corner, again chasing down Adam Kinman. Kinman getting past one of the lap cars there. I think that was actually Andrew Kinman's going across there in Richard Cooper in the 67 there. So coming across at the worst possible time, coming at the exit of the hairpin there.
Yeah, traffic more crucial than ever in the wet weather as well, forcing some drivers to take a slippery line. And part of the track can catch them as well. But yeah, John Kinman actually lost a bit of time there. It was a 103.7 on that lap, it was 103.1 for Andrew Graham. I think the time difference is stabilising between those two, and in some ways actually Andrew Graham is beginning to gap John Kinman as well. It was that lap where he got totally sideways out of Clark's that was his fastest lap. So clearly the pushing works, but maybe it's just encouraging him to back off that a little bit. Maybe it's a bit too risky.
Oh no, there's a problem for Calder. That car looks like it's had an issue coming out of the chicane. I wonder if that is going to be a retirement then for Colin Calder. I just caught it there. It's going very slowly on the exit. Clark's that might very well stop just off the racing line here. We're going to get a yellow flag certainly as it makes its way through, a white flag actually to signify a slow moving machine here. Absolutely gutted to see that.
So Colin's pulled his way sensibly off to the right hand side, so getting well out of the way of any danger to a marshal's post, so the green flag wave. So great heads up driving there from the very experienced, has to be said, Colin Calder, showing his racing nous there and letting this race continue. But what a shame, because he was looking, as you say, really good for potential podium.
I'm gutted. Do you think he heard that I was tipping him? It's just like, yeah, it's not happening.
The genetic couldn't go.
The genetic couldn't go with all that pressure on his shoulders, all that expectation. Somehow we've still got 5 laps left to go here, John.
Yep, and I should mention actually as well, while we're talking about Colin Calder, because he's just retired, he has recently become a grandfather. One of his daughters, Louise, recently had a kid, which is great to see. So congratulations to Colin and of course the whole Calder family on that one. Unfortunately, this race not gone to plan, but obviously in the wider picture things have been fantastic at the Calder household. So great stuff.
I mean, that really is a racing family, isn't it?
It really is.
All of them. I mean, if I remember rightly, Louise was in the sprint championship as well.
Yeah, so Heather tended to compete in the British sprint championship. Heather was with the British championship with Colin, but Louise competed and competes regularly in the Scottish championship. I've competed against her in the same class many times, and she's frighteningly quick and brilliant to race against. Always competitive. They're just a really
incredibly friendly bunch as well. Very happy to come over and chat and very helpful in terms of car setups. And am I right in saying that was the Gould sequence that they were taking part in?
Heather and Colin used to share the Gould and took many British sprint championships. As I was saying earlier, Heather, I think maybe possibly having a lap record around here as well, outright at one point. So yeah, very fast family. Colin obviously moving more recently into focusing more on circuits. He still does sprint events though in these cars. I've seen this Ginetta out on the sprint events around Scotland as well. So yeah, just a shame that he's not made it to the end of this particular race. But we still have plenty of cars out there on circuit. In fact, there's 13 still lapping. Colin Calder and Andrew Kinman, the 2 retirements from this one, and unfortunately Ian Morton in the 40 in the Austin, as I said earlier, not making the start. Other than that, it's been all good. We've not seen any incidents or any contact or anything, just a lot of sliding and a lot of fun driving.
Yeah, it becomes a track day at this point now for these cars, given that they're so far apart from everyone here, as we see the number 66 there of Duncan O'Neill in that XR2, just making sure that he keeps out of the way. I was looking up the lap records there, and they're absolutely spot on with that observation there, John. It was actually Heather Fields, excuse me, Heather Coleman. That took the lap records 41.88 flying laps.
Some supercars were fast.
41? How? Well, I've done 39 in a Civ in an F1 car, and that was like after like 3 hours of trying not to crash.
That's the thing though, a car in that situation, Scottish Sprint Championship, British Sprint Championship, is designed for one thing only, and that's to be fast over one lap. So it doesn't have the technology of modern F1 cars. It's got the power, but it has the lightweightness. It's got no massive fuel tank. It's got no massive radiator. It doesn't need to do 2 hours. It's got soft tyres, and it's got a very fast driver in Heather Calder.
Certainly does, and yeah, there's the question of what they would do with some of these machines, as we see up into the inside. Here comes one of the cars there. Again, it's such a wonderful, wonderful mix of machinery out there. You know, again, things like cars even that I've never even heard of, like that Lotus XL. We were hearing from Craig Houston actually in pit lane about how that car came to him in bits for a very reasonable price there, and these drivers that are out there in the classics are, I think it's safe to say, they're addicted to this. They cannot help themselves. I know one of the other drivers that I speak to, Alistair Bapty, trying to keep them off of eBay and finding these used cars is now on impossible. They cannot resist a decent bargain on these classics.
I only learned about the Ecolat XL quite recently. I was actually playing racing quite a car collection game.
Okay.
I heard, as we established earlier. So it's really nice to see one out there racing today. You know, something a car I've not seen competing to my knowledge in the past. So that's been fantastic. We do have some close gaps on this race. There's nothing really to scream about at the moment. We did have a 2-second gap between Craig Houston and Ian Mitchell, so that's the Nova chasing down the Lotus that we're just talking about, but that gap is actually extended now up to 4.9 seconds. Meanwhile, Andrew Graham's been running away at the front. He's done a 103.0 in the last lap, 7/10 quicker than John Kinman. His fastest lap though at 102.4 for Andrew Graham. So the TVR asserting its the Triumph, asserting its dominance at the front. There's a 101. Wow! For Andrew Graham to get quicker and showing that he deserves to get out of this race.
Well, the big wow for me was John Kinman had that car at 90 degrees sideways coming through the exit of the corner there. That was almost show car stuff from the Rover there, although he's going very, very slowly now, and that's because the race is over. Checkered flag. See, this is what happens when you've got the back to the start-finish line here and you're looking away. Last time I looked, it was like 5 laps left to go, and it's all done.
You were staring at the sideways Rover, I was staring at the lap time from Andrew Graham. None of us caught checkered flag, so there you go. It must be getting towards 5 o'clock in the evening. In fact, it's well on past 5 o'clock. Yeah. And what a day of racing we've had. So many races today, David. So much excitement, and the conditions have been all over the place. But we're not done yet. We are done with the races, but we're not done with the action.
Do you know what I love is the fact that, look at that, we have still got so many people here at the circuit. So a huge thank you for staying well past our scheduled finish time just now. Well, I say well past, 10 minutes past our finish time. Once we get these cars off, I would imagine we'll get Super Lab Scotland straight out there underway, and we'll finish shortly afterwards. So in the meantime though, I'm pretty sure I just saw Andrew Graham coming down the back straight there with the arm punching out the window, celebrating that win. He'll be delighted in that Triumph, and I think rightfully so. He'll be a very, very happy person. It's getting to that point of the day where I'm really